Well, hello, this is Laura with Jot and Tittle Vintage Typewriters, and today we're going to look at a 1968 Super Sterling by Smith Corona. This was the original color. It's this deep blue. It's like a slate blue. It's really pretty. So I am going to show you guys how to use this, and if you are interested in seeing how it types, then the link is in the description below for you to go look at the typing demo I did for those who are interested in purchasing this. But for those of you who have a Super Sterling and you want to know how to use it, then this video is for you. And before I go any further, for those of you that are watching, if you would please support us, our channel, by liking, subscribing, and shopping our website, that would be very helpful in keeping us, making it possible for me to take time to do these tutorial videos for you guys. So let's start with the serial number, and I'm gonna have to look because I'm not sure. Okay, here it is. So on this one, your serial number is gonna be right here. It's kind of a cutout on the bottom. Let me see if I can do this better. It's going to be right down there, okay? And then if you go to typewriterdatabase.com, that'll tell you what year it was made. Okay, so here's your keyboard. The area in here is called an escapement. This is your carriage. And if you are new to typewriters, this is a good typewriter for you. Remember, there's no batteries, there's no plugging in on this one anyway. It's all manual. But because it's all manual, there's some things that were not as intuitive with a computer. You just have to think differently when using a typewriter. So let's start back here. This kind of holds your paper up, which is really handy. It keeps it from flopping over. And I don't know about you, but when I'm typing and it's flopping over and it's like hitting the back of the table, it's really annoying. So, and you can't see what you typed. So this actually really does come in handy. Now you have to manually set your own margins. And to do that, you press and drag, okay? Now, wherever you have your margin set, that's as far as the carriage is gonna move. So if I wanna move that carriage, it's gonna go all the way to the right margin and all the way to the left margin. But if I bring my margins in, then the carriage is only gonna move still between the right and left margin. Now, I am moving this carriage by pulling in this lever right here. You can pull it in on this side. It doesn't matter which side, okay? Just note that on these typewriters, especially the Smith Coronas, these levers break off pretty easy. So there are a lot of times one of them is missing, and it's okay. You can still use the typewriter. We even get them where people have like glued on pen caps. You know, it's because there's a little metal nub. So if this plastic breaks off, there's still a metal nub that you can pull. And so we have seen some interesting arrangements with people trying to replace that plastic handle back here. So that is a fairly common, something that we see with typewriters, the Smith Coronas. Okay, this is your handle that turns your roller here, which is called the platen. And it is supposed to be hard and flat. I mean, a little give to it, but these are actually pretty hard to replace. So please take care of your platens. And I'm sure there's some information out there. We do not replace platens on our typewriters, just so you know. Okay, this holds the paper taut against your roller. And there's a lever here on the left side, right side, sorry. That releases the tension on your paper. So when you go to put your paper in, which you'll put it right behind this roller, turn it. I happen to get it in perfectly, yay. But if it was crooked, then you just pull this lever forward And you can, it's nice and loose now, and you can adjust it and move it around. And this is a feature that you probably will use fairly often. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna keep the paper in there for now. Okay, we're gonna go over to the left side. So when you get to the end of your margin, you're gonna hear your bell, and that bell just says, hey, you're at the end of your margin, prepare to hit your return handle. And so you just hit your return handle. Now your return handle is gonna not only take you back to the beginning, but it's gonna advance you either 1, 1.5, or 2 lines. This is your line selector, and so you can select which line you want to use. I like bigger lines if I'm doing editing, line spacing. You're gonna notice on this carriage that on the right side is just a plain handle, and on the left side, it's gonna have a black button on it. So what that does is it kind of releases that roller. If you turn the handle, you can hear it click. That clicks every half of a line, which it doesn't, what it does is it makes it kind of hard if you're trying to line up a check mark or something like that. But if you press this black button, then it releases that, and you can kind of put your little cursor area wherever you want. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back over to the left. I'm gonna pull this open, and the reason I push that to the left is if you notice, like on this one, you can see whoever had this before, they would scratch the top of their cover, and it's probably because they kept forgetting to move the handle over when they were trying to open up the cover, and your cover is not gonna open well because the handle is in the way, so you have to move the carriage to the left. You'll see that this this popped out, that's common when you move around your typewriter or shipping or something like that. These pop out really easy because there's nothing in there that's clipping it down. And when you're changing out your ribbon, you just pull it out and pop a new one in. There should be 2 pins in there, a big one to put in the middle hole and a small one that goes in one of these 4 holes. And that's what turns your spool. And so sometimes you have to kind of go back and forth a bit. There we go. And then it pops down. Make sure it's threaded through all the guide wires. There is an up-close photo of this, so you can have a reference to see if you need to change out your ribbon, you know how to thread it. That you're going to find that in the description. There's a link to the product listing. Even if this is sold, you can access the photos and then bookmark it or save that picture. Let's put that in there. So you've got to make sure it's threaded nice and easy. When you do change it out, black on top, red on bottom. Now when you get to the end of the spool, it's not the end of the ribbon. There's a lot of ink in there. So some ribbons will auto reverse because they have like a little grommet at the very end of the spool that will catch a little lever down there and switch the spool direction. But to manually do it, it's right here. You'll see it on the left side, and it's just a small motion, and that's all you need to reverse the direction of your ribbon. That ribbon can be reversed multiple times before you need to actually change it because that ink will last you a long time. Okay, so now if you want to go from typing on black ribbon to red, here's your color selector, black, red, that kind of blank rectangle in the middle, that's a stencil setting. It's not something you'll ever use, and if it's ever on that stencil setting, it's not going to type properly. It has to be on the black or the red. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at more of our keys. Here, this LMH, that just really determines how hard these type bars are going to strike your paper. So it's just really based on how hard you type and the personality of the typewriter. So you just set it to where you like. You know, if it's too light, then either try typing harder or adjusting this. And if it's too dark, try typing not as hard or adjust this. Either way. Okay, so this arrow is your backspace. So when you make a mistake, your backspace, it doesn't erase, but it allows you to go back and type over your mistake. Over on the right side, you have your tab. Okay. And to set your tab, you have the button set and the button clear. So if you wanted to come over here and hit set, oops. And then you can hit clear. Oh, I pretty much was on top of them. There's a bunch of tabs, it looks like. All right, let's see if we cleared it. Yeah, so I just cleared all the tabs. So now you could go in and set your tab. Now MR, that's margin release. So remember I talked where your bell will go off to let you know, hey, you're at the end of your margin. You're not gonna be able to do anything. You're not gonna be able to type or anything. So you just hit MR, and now you can finish your word before you hit the return handle. And that comes in handy because a lot of times the bell will ding and you're right in the middle of a word or a thought and you don't want to hit the return handle yet. And so that is what that is for. Okay, so I have shown you everything on this typewriter that you need to know to use it effectively, and I hope you found this video to be helpful. If so, please support our business. You'll find the links below, and we hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.